Have you ever wondered what truly lies beneath the surface of the human experience? Welcome back. Please subscribe and like this video to help us explore these cinematic shadows together. Today, we dissect the enigma of the digital ghost, the psychological profile of the individual who chooses to exist outside the frame, refusing to participate in the performative theater of social media. When we look at the modern landscape, it resembles a bustling, chaotic film set where everyone is vying for the lead role, screaming for the spotlight, desperate for the director's approval. Yet, amidst this cacophony of visual noise, there stands a figure in the shadows, calm, observant, and intentionally invisible. This is not a person who has been cut from the scene. This is a person who has chosen to remain behind the camera, understanding that the true power of the narrative lies not in being seen, but in seeing. To understand the psychology of the person who does not post their photos, we must first look at the concept of the shadow self and the nature of privacy as a form of high art. In the grand gallery of human existence, most people are busy painting self-portraits, frantic strokes of color designed to capture the attention of passers-by. They are curators of a museum that never closes, constantly rearranging the exhibits to please the critics. However, the individual who abstains from this digital exhibitionism values the concept of the locked room. This is the psychological principle of privacy over popularity. Just as a master filmmaker understands the power of the off-screen space, the terror or beauty of what is suggested but not shown, these individuals understand that their identity is more potent when it is not fully exposed. By withholding their image, they maintain a rigid, healthy control over their own narrative. They are not hiding in fear, they are residing in a sanctuary. When a person constantly broadcasts their life, they are essentially outsourcing their self-esteem to a volatile market of public opinion. They are the actors on stage, terrified of the silence between applause. But the non-poster? They are the auteur. They prioritize their mental space, keeping the sanctum of their psyche free from the clutter of external judgment. Their refusal to post is a declaration that their life is a reality to be lived, not a spectacle to be consumed. This indicates a profound inner security, a fortress where the walls are thick and the gates are barred not against intruders, but against the leakage of the self. They do not need the mirror of the world to tell them they exist. They feel their own weight, their own gravity. Moving deeper into the psyche, we encounter the trait of strong self-awareness. In cinema, the most compelling characters are those who know their motivation, who have a clear, super objective. The digital ghost possesses this clarity. The constant posting of photos often stems from a fragmented sense of self, a need to assemble one's identity through the fragmented reflection of digital feedback. It is the looking glass self theory gone rampant, where we become who we think others think we are. The person who abstains from this loop has likely achieved a state of individuation that Jung would admire. They have a clear, unshakable sense of who they are, what they value, and where they are going. They do not need to storyboard their life for an audience because the script is internal. They are driven by an internal compass rather than the magnetic pole of trends. When you see someone who doesn't feel the urge to document their lunch, their vacation, or their outfits, you are looking at someone who derives happiness from the act of experiencing, not the act of broadcasting. They are present in the mise en scène of reality. They are not looking at the sunset through a lens, they are letting the light hit their retina directly. This lack of performative behavior signals a rejection of social comparison. They are not auditioning for the role of happiest person or most successful entrepreneur. They are simply living the role. They understand that the map is not the territory, and the profile is not the person. This self-awareness acts as a shield, deflecting the arrows of inadequacy that social media fires at its users. They are the quiet observers in the cinema of life, watching the drama unfold but refusing to be typecast by the algorithm. As we peel back another layer, we find the bedrock of emotional security and inner confidence. There is a profound difference between the confidence of the peacock, which must display its feathers to establish dominance, and the confidence of the lion, which rests in the shade, knowing its power without needing to roar. The compulsion to post selfies, to curate the perfect angle, to filter out the imperfections, is often a symptom of an anxious attachment style with the world. It is a cry of, "Do you see me? Am I worthy?" The non-poster, conversely, operates from a secure attachment base. They do not post because they already feel complete. Their self-worth is not a bucket with a hole in it that needs to be constantly refilled with likes and comments. It is a solid, self-sustaining well. This emotional balance allows them to navigate the world with less anxiety. They are not perpetually waiting for the notification bell, a sound that has become the modern Pavlovian bell, conditioning us to salivate for validation. Because they are not distracted by the management of their digital avatar, they are able to focus their energy on real-world goals. Their psychological resources are not being taxed by the high cost of image maintenance. They are the deep focus shots in a world of rapid cutting. They hold their gaze. They are grounded. This inner confidence is quiet, almost imperceptible to the untrained eye, but it is the kind of confidence that withstands the storms of life because it is not built on the shifting sands of public approval. They have integrated their shadow. They accept their flaws and their virtues without needing a filter to soften the edges. Furthermore, we must consider the intellectual disposition of these individuals. They are often deep thinkers, not show-offs. If social media is a series of superficial jump cuts, the mind of the non-poster is a long, continuous tracking shot. They value introspection. They are the critics and the philosophers who understand that true connection requires depth, not breadth. In a world that rewards the loudest voice and the brightest image, silence is a radical act of rebellion. These individuals often operate with an internal locus of evaluation. This means they judge their success and their worth by their own standards, not by the metrics of engagement. They are like the method actors who stay in character even when the cameras stop rolling, committed to the truth of their experience. They prefer authentic, face-to-face conversations, the kind of dialogue that has texture and nuance over the binary, flattened interactions of the comment section. They think before they speak, and they think before they act. The decision not to post is often a conscious, deliberated choice, a result of weighing the pros and cons of digital exposure. They see the vacuity of the influencer culture and choose the richness of the unexamined life, or rather, the life examined only by themselves. They are the guardians of their own mystery. In a psychological sense, they are preserving the sanctity of the dyadic relationship, the connection between the self and the immediate other, without diluting it for a mass audience. They understand that once a moment is captured and shared, it is no longer fully theirs. It becomes a commodity, a piece of content to be scrolled past. By refusing to commodify their memories, they keep them sacred. Finally, we arrive at the most crucial realization, the understanding of the digital illusion. We are living in Plato's cave, staring at the shadows on the wall, convinced that these flickering projections are reality. The social media feed is the ultimate shadow play. It is a curated, edited, color-corrected highlight reel that bears little resemblance to the messy, complex, beautiful tragedy of actual human existence. The individuals who abstain from posting have likely walked out of the cave. They have seen the sun. They understand the mechanics of the illusion. They know that the smile in the photo often hides the tears shed 5 minutes prior. They know that the perfect vacation photo doesn't show the argument at the airport. By staying low-key, they protect their mental health from the corrosive acid of social comparison. They choose peace over performance. They refuse to participate in the suspension of disbelief, required to engage with social media earnestly. They see the green screen behind the actors. This is a form of psychological immunity. While others are drowning in the despair of feeling like they are falling behind, the non-poster is content in their own lane, moving at their own speed. They understand that the digital world is a funhouse mirror, distorting proportions and warping perceptions. They simply refuse to step in front of it. They are the realists in a world of fantasy, the Stoics in a world of hedonism. In dissecting this persona, we see an archetype of the wise sage, or the hermit, not in the sense of isolation, but in the sense of self-containment. The video suggests that these individuals are grounded, emotionally intelligent, and self-aware. They demonstrate real confidence. It is the confidence of the artist who paints a masterpiece and covers it with a cloth, knowing its beauty exists regardless of whether eyes fall upon it. It is the confidence of the director who cuts the scene not because it wasn't good, but because it didn't serve the truth of the story. They are walking through the world with their eyes wide open, absorbing the light, casting their own shadows, and refusing to be flattened into a JPEG. They remind us that the most profound experiences are often the ones that are never recorded, the feelings that are never captioned, and the lives that are lived quietly, with intention and depth. They teach us that visibility is not synonymous with validity. In a culture that screams pics or it didn't happen, they whisper, it happened and it was mine. They are the masters of the negative space, the silence between the notes, the darkness that gives the light its meaning. In the end, we are all mysteries waiting to be solved.